In this video, I'll show you how to store a file in Azure Blob Storage through Power Pages. Now, Azure Blob Storage is a service within Microsoft Azure whereby you can store file contents. Now you can store any contents over there. You can store a table, you can store queue, you can store various other forms of structured and unstructured data. But we are more interested in storing the attachments from a Power Pages site. Now, why it is important is because by default, Power Pages allows you to attach a file within a control, and then that document gets stored within the Dataverse table. Now, if you want to offload some of the file items from Dataverse to some other secondary storage, then this is a best option. Now, the advantage which you get from storing file in Azure Blob Storage is you get an increased file size limit of 10 GB per file. In Notes, you get 90 MB. So in Azure Blob Storage, that file items max file size bumps up to 10 GB. So that's a viable option. Now you store attachments in Azure Blob Storage. You also get an option to see the visual progress bar during the upload. So this is a screen basically whereby you can upload a file, and this is the actual uploaded file. And this is how the visual progress will be shown. Now there is an error message options whereby you can show to the user when if there is a file failure upload, and there is an API support as well. So in turn, what happens is like the file gets stored in an Azure Blob Storage container, and you can view the file by navigating to Azure. You can also query the file back in Power Pages by some liquid code, or by using some custom code, and you can get those file back into your Power Pages site as well. So the basic storage will be in Azure Blob Storage. Attachment options. So in Power Pages, when you use a form, there are multiple options you get as a part of attachment. So you can enable or disable the attachments. You can make attachment field required. You can allow multiple attachment file upload, so you can have multiple file attached by a user. You can set the attachment display label. You can set allowed attachment file type. So if you want to restrict to a specific file type, you can do that. You can select attachment storage location as Dataverse or Azure Blob Storage. In this video, we are going to talk about Azure Blob Storage because this is what the uh, uh, main focus point of this video would be to store the file in Azure Blob Storage by triggering a upload process using Power Pages form. And we can also upload the file size limit as well. So these are the various options as you see over here. So I have an option to enable the attachment. I can make the attachment required. I can allow multiple files. I can put an attachment display label. File types allowed. I can select the file types, and then I have an option to store attachment storage Azure Blob Storage, or note attachment in Dataverse. Once you select Azure Blob Storage, then it will ask for storage account name, container name, upload file size limit per file. So you can set the file size limit, and like this is how the screen will look like. So for file types allowed, specific file types allowed, if you select a specific file type out of this, and then you can also specify MIME types allowed, like image.png or application slash document. Now the steps to store the attachment in blob storage is like you need to do something in Power Pages, you need to do something in Microsoft Azure. So first thing in so what we do is like we first create a form in Power Pages. We edit the form settings. We enable table permission because it's also important to set a table permission, because the file, the document which we are going to upload it, that will be against a specific record, and that record should have that create and append to permission for the user who is uploading that file. Under attachment, we can enable and configure the attachment. We can select the attachment storage as Azure Blob Storage. And once you do that, we specify Azure Storage account name, specify Azure container name, and we need to create a site settings in Power Pages portal with the settings web file slash cloud storage account, and specify the access key value which we are going to get from the storage account. And then web file slash storage account equal to Azure Blob Storage. This is like a static value which we need to create. Azure related setting, we need to create an Azure resource group, create an Azure storage account, create a container. If you already have all this thing, you can skip the first three steps. But the important step is like you need to create a role assignment and grant access to the portal app registration. Now, portal app registration is basically when you create a Power Pages site, it automatically creates an app registration within your Azure portal. Now you need to take a reference of that and you need to grant assignment of reader or storage blob data contributor to that specific account. You copy the access key from storage account, which is important for you to take that and put it in the Power Pages management site. And in Azure, you need to set the CORS rule, the cross origin resource sharing rule. So set allowed origin, set allowed verbs, set allowed headers, exposed headers, and maximum age in seconds. This is how the screen will look like for resource sharing. Now let's jump into the demo. So let me show you, say, the Power Pages site. Now this is the Power Pages site which I have created. So what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna create a separate page and I'll call it as upload demo, and I'll add a simple page named as upload demo. So I'll close all this Copilot thing. And from here, I have an option to create a form. Now from form, I can use an existing table or maybe I'll create a separate form. So I'll say create form for tennis registration with name and email field only. Let's see what the AI form generator does. So I'm just creating a form for tennis registration and with a simple form with name and email, okay, and the submit button. And I'll keep it very simple for this, okay. So this is a tennis registration form. So I'll just click on OK. So what it will do internally, it will create a form and at the same time it will create a backend database table as well, Dataverse table. Now that will have couple of fields, name and email, and then we can like work on top of that. So it's very important to understand the entire process. We have started with creating a page in Power Pages, and then we have created a form using AI form generation. You can refer to the already existing Dataverse table or any existing form as well, but I'm just showing you from start. And it will take some time. Now, in the meantime, what we are going to do, we are going to go to Azure. Okay, so let's navigate to Azure, portal.azure.com. And here what we are going to do, we are going to create I already have a resource group. So this is the resource group which I have, which I have named as 0k mlk. Now within a resource group, so if you do not have a resource group, create a resource group, and then within a resource group we can create something called as a storage account. So this time I'm going to create a storage account. So you can navigate from any place, you can search the marketplace. So storage account, and within that storage account we are gonna select the storage account, and I'm create a very simple storage account. I'll say create, and I'll select the subscription, I'll select the resource group, and I'll call it as G storage 4000. And we can pick up the region, we can say select a primary service, Azure Blob Storage, or Data Lake Storage Gen 2, standard, geo redundancy, or whatever you want you can select depending on your requirement. I will say I'll select locally redundant storage and I'll click on review plus create. And once the validation is succeeded, it will start creating the storage account. Okay, now let's go into Power Pages site. Now this is the form which we have created. Let's go into the data. So this form looks good. Let's go into the data. We have this Copilot tennis registration, so it has already created this table in the backend with name, and I have this email address. Okay, so I'll just select email address and then this will show the email address. Now important step, click on edit table properties. Now here, advanced option, here we have uh, we can select various options depending on whatever we want, like in terms of retention or audit changes to data, or setting up document file management, can have contact email, can have access team. So all these options we have within the Microsoft Dataverse table we can select. and then we can set up accordingly. Okay, so we get all the options whatever we get from make.powerapps.com, and we can make those changes. And also we have an option to enable attachment, so we'll just click on enable attachment including notes and files. So if you want to enable attachment uh, for that specific table, you need to select that option. So let it save. Again, going back to Azure, our deployment is complete. Now we have already created that storage account, so let's go into resource group, go to 0kmlk, and then we will go to G storage 4000 over here. So this is the storage account which we have created. Now this is the storage account name, G storage 4000. Okay, coming back to this table over here, so let's go to the pages, and now we go to upload demo, and from here I'll select this form and then I'll click on edit form. Now from here I have an option for attachment. So if I click on attachment, I'll say yes, I want to enable the attachment, and attachment is required. That's an optional thing for you. Allow multiple files, that is optional. I'll say attachment display label as file upload. It can be any text. And what are the file types allowed? I can select whatever file types are allowed: audio, document, image, video, specific. So I'll just select all file type. Attachment storage. Now instead of note attachment and Dataverse, now I want Azure Blob Storage. Now in Azure Blob Storage, I'll say Azure Storage account name. Now the storage account which we have created, that's G Storage 4000. So I'll just keep it like this. Azure container name. Now we need to create a container within Azure Storage, and then we can. So from here under data storage, we have this container. So I'll just click on container, and I'll call this as tennis. I'll just call it as tennis. Okay, and I'll click on create. Now I've created this container named as tennis. So I'll just put the Azure container name as tennis, and I'll upload maximum file size limit per file. So by default in notes database, you get like a 50 MB, 90 MB file. It doesn't go beyond 90 MB. So what we can do is, like here, by selecting Azure Blob Storage, we can upload a file maximum of 10 gigs in size. Okay, so we can set up the upload file size limit, but then I will not going to set that. I'll click on OK, and I'll sync the site. Okay, now, remember one thing. Now, when you created a Power Pages site, at that time, for the first time when you logged into the site, it might have asked for an like a app registration prompt. Okay. Now, once you do that, it automatically creates an app registration ID within your backend Microsoft portal, Azure. Now that particular app registration need to be linked, okay, and be given permission for that container for this particular entire things to work. Okay, now we haven't configured completely, but I'll show you what happens. Okay, so if I just preview this site, so it might take some time for this site to be previewed, but I'll just show you like the process. Okay, so we have just created a form, we have configured Azure storage account, and we haven't set any other configuration. There are other configuration we may need to do, but let's see what happens when you just run this form and see once you submit it, does it uh, store the record or not in the backend system. From an Azure storage perspective, we may need to do a lot of other things, other configuration. So if we go into settings configuration, here we need to, sorry, not in settings configuration, but in resource sharing cores. Now in resource sharing cores, here in resource sharing course, we may need to add a record over here, allowed origin, allowed method, and so on and so forth, like allowed headers, expose header. So this is important because we need to set some relationship between accessing the resource between Azure and the Power Pages site. Okay. Now in allowed origins, we need to put a URL. Okay. Now that URL, if we navigate to Power Platform Admin Center for a specific environment, now my Power Pages site is in Girish Preview US environment. And now if I go to Power Platform Admin Center, I go to Girish Preview US, this is the URL. So I'll just copy the link. And remember, when you paste this link, you just remove that trailing slash. Okay, you remove that allowed method, whatever method you want to grant access to get, post, delete, put, patch, whatever you want, you can select that. And an allowed header and expose header, for this particular demo, I'll just put star, means allow everything. Expose headers allow everything. And max age is about, say 200 seconds. Okay, we just script that as a static value and click on save. Okay, we'll come back to Azure Storage settings in a while. Let's see how this form looks like. Now, as you see over here, this is how the form will look like. So let me first sign in, okay, into this application. So I'll just sign into this application. Now, if you see this application, which we have created, it's a simple form with a upload control. So we have named this page as upload demo. Now as you see over here, you don't see that attachment control, right? We have already created, but we don't see this attachment control. So let me add a record, Girish, and Girish at abc.com, and click on submit. Now it's a submission completed successfully. If you go back to the data, go back to Copilot and its registration, you will see that record is created. But we have created an upload, we have created a control for upload, but that is not visible. Now there are a couple of things which we may need to do. One is, like, for this particular form, we need to set a permission. Okay, now that permission is basically, we will create a permission, and we will call this as Copilot tennis registration, Azure file upload. Okay, this is a table permission which we are setting, and make sure that you have create and append to privileges must be selected to enable attachment. So this action creates an append permission to store the attachment in Dataverse node table or any other table. Now in add rules, I can give it to anonymous user or authenticated users. Let's give it to authenticated users, but you can give it to anonymous user as well. And I'll click on save. So you can give to both of the users. And now this table permission is set. So let's do a sync and let it sync. And then once that is synced, we will just refresh this page. Okay, so we'll go to this upload demo page, and then once it is synced, we will just click on a refresh button and see what changes have been made once this particular synchronization has been done. Okay, so what we have done in Azure is, like, we have created a Azure resource sharing. Okay, resource sharing course configuration. Now, in Azure, if you go into Entra ID, now this particular site name is Gold Standard. Okay, so once the site was created, in app registration, if you just type in Gold Standard, it's under owned application, say in Gold Standard, you will see like an option like multiple application found. Now in my case, this is the application portal Gold Standard. In your case, there will be something else depending on your site name. This is the latest one which I have created. So this is very much important. You need to just remember this part: portals Gold Standard, Gold Standard. That's a display name. Okay, now why it is important is because once you navigate to your storage account, so let's go into the storage account. So all resources and G storage 4000, and from here you will see this is the name of the storage account, and we need to grant access control. So an access control IAM, we need to go to role assignments, and then we need to find out what all role are assigned to that specific app registered ID. Now you just click on add role assignment, and you will create a role assignment and then grant access to the portal app registration specific role. So first role we are going to grant is reader, and the second rule, so we'll first select reader, and then in the members I will add portal. So I'll search for portal, and the one which we have just searched for, portal gold standard, I will just select this. Okay, and I'll click on review plus assign and say review plus assign. So we have granted that app registration a reader right to the storage account. Similarly, we need to do another step. I'll click on add role assignment, and this time I'm gonna search for storage blob. So storage blob data contributor, click on next. select member, again the same step, portal, gold standard, select, review plus assign. So now we have set the core setting for a storage account, and we have created a role assignment and granted access to portal app registration page. From a Power Pages form perspective, we have specified the storage account name, we have specified the storage Azure container name, as you see over here. And like let me show you here. So in edit form, what we have done in attachment, we have stored the attachment storage as blob storage, Azure storage account name, and we have to specified the container name as well. Now, if you see this example, now once the screen is refreshed, you can see the upload control, right? Now, this is upload control, which we have set. Now, the last piece of setting, what we need to do is like go into the backend side, okay? So here, if you navigate to Power Pages Management, so I'll just click on Power Pages Management, and once that is created, once that is open, you will be navigated to Power Pages Management site. You need to add a couple of site settings. Now, couple of site settings related to that specific application. Okay, so this application is gold standard website, right? So go to settings, click on new. Now we need to show or tell Power Pages that these are the access keys, okay, to access the storage account. So web files slash cloud storage account. So web files slash cloud storage account, and the website, we know it's a gold standard website, and the value is the access key value. Now if you go into the storage account, so let's go into G storage account. Now here under security and networking, go to access key, and then let me show this key, copy this one of the key, okay, and then I will just paste this key over here and click on save. So this is the first setting we did. Then we add another setting, and this is web files slash storage location, and the website is gold standard, value is Azure Blob Storage. Click on save. Once you make this configuration, I think we are pretty much done with all the configuration. We need to just synchronize the website back. So the goal is like we have created the storage account. Anything you upload the file from your Power Pages site, it should go into this storage account. Now within storage account, we have this container called as tennis, and here the file should get stored. So this synchronization is done. Let me close this page and let me preview it from preview desktop. So from an when you created this particular entire form using AI, it has automatically created a backend table. Now what we have done, we have enabled attachment within that particular table. We have added a couple of site settings in the Power Pages management site. We have in the Azure, we have created a resource group, we have created a storage account, we have created a container. In the store from the storage account, we have set the CORS rule, cross origin resource sharing rule. From a storage account perspective, we have created a role assignment IAM and granted access to the app registration portal app registration ID as a role of reader and storage blob data contributor. Now the site is loading. Once it loads, we will upload an attachment and see how it works, like whether it throws an error, and if it throws an error and what kind of error it is, and then we will start troubleshooting it. Because this process is not simple, because we are connecting two services. We are connecting Azure storage service with a Power Pages site. Now both the linkages should be proper. It needs to be properly authenticated. Now the point of authentication is the access key value. So we have set a site settings named as web files slash cloud storage account as an access key value, and then that will establish that connection between the Power Pages site and the Azure Blob Storage. Sorry. Now this file is loaded. Now what we're going to do, I'll just type in some name. So I'll just type in Brian and Brian at pc.com, and I'll upload a file. Now here I have a lot of files, so let me upload say one of the PDF file. And as you see over here, it will give you the progress indicator. So it is a 1.8 meg file, and once that file is uploaded completely, you will see this delete icon so that you can delete the file as well. And once that is done, you can click on submit. So let's see whether the file gets uploaded successfully or not. Now if you go into this tennis storage account, let me refresh this. As you see over here, it has created a GUID, and then once you click on it, you will see this file has been uploaded successfully. And at the same time, if you go to Power Pages site, you navigate to the data, and within the data, you navigate to the specific table, Copilot Tennis Registration, and here you will see that couple of records. Now this is like a simple record which we have uploaded, but there is like you can upload more than x amount of file as well. So as you see over here, like say if I type in say drew drew at com, and I'll upload a bigger file. Now the file which I'll upload is say let's upload say 23 meg file. Okay, now again it will take some time because this is a, big amount of file, but as you see over here, this it's showing the progress bar, and once that progress bar is done, uh, the file is completely uploaded. You click on submit and this file will get uploaded. Now how you will see, you need to go up, and as you see over here, there are two GUID. This one was the old one, and this is the new one 521. And as you see over here, management.pptx and it's a 22 meg file. So like this you can upload up to 10 gigabyte of file within the system. Now you can also set a limit on the form. If you want to set, say we just want to upload maybe maximum 1 GB of file, you can do that. You go to edit form, click on attachment, and then from here you can set an upload size file limit. You need to specify some value over there. And also you can limit the file types. So from here, if you want to just select audio or document or image, video, specific file type, yes, you can go ahead and do that. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically use Azure Blob Storage to store the file from the Power Pages site. Thanks for watching.